Morning world, it's Friday the 2nd of March around 7:30 in the morning UK time. There's still lots of snow here and it's still well below zero, but hey, it could be worse. There's a lot of other people in Europe worse off than us. Full moon last night, full moon in Virgo, and that full moon was opposite Neptune. When I did my monthly forecast yesterday, I commented on the full moon a few times, and it gave me pause for thought. There's two separate things around the full moon. Firstly, with its opposition to Neptune, full moon opposite Neptune is a bit of a weird one because it's much easier sometimes to deal with the world as being the way you want it to be, rather than dealing with it the way it actually is. And when the moon is opposite Neptune, not only does it increase one's intuitive capacity, one's sensitivity and empathy, it also can create a degree of escapism and avoidance. And with that full moon yesterday, it's likely that some people around the place are going to be making choices and decisions based on what they're feeling at this time, which actually bears little in common with what's really going on. So, reality check, folks. For myself, for everyone around me, for all of you, reality check. Just because you want the world to be a certain way doesn't mean it has to be that way. And sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and deal with the world the way it is. And I think that's the case with this full moon, especially as it's opposite Neptune, because that just brings in the sense of avoidance, sometimes neuroses, escapism, as well of course as an appreciation for the more sensual, aesthetic, quasi-spiritual and intuitive. But that's not all about this full moon. It's the very, very first crack in the eggshell of the end of a period that I'm calling silly season. Basically, from the start of January through to the next few days has been the longest period I've ever consciously aware of in astrology in the 30 years I've been doing it, where there's been no retrogrades. It's my argument that we need retrogrades around us, because only when planets are apparently moving backwards and in retrograde do we have something to grind against, do we have something to bite on. It's like cogs in a wheel. When everything is moving forward all the time and it's just flowing easily, there's no resistance to anything, and it's all too slippery, too easy, and you can't believe everything that's going on. When there's retrogrades, it's my opinion that then you've got challenges, and humanity thrives on challenges. When it's all too easy, we don't thrive. Very, very rarely indeed do I find a chart with no retrogrades in, less than 1%. Sometimes I find up to 7 retrogrades, average is about 2 to 3. I'm beginning to rethink retrogrades. I'm beginning to think they're actually really vital and necessary. And it is this last couple of months that's made me think this. Now, from I think about 4 days' time, Jupiter goes retrograde. Mercury will be going retrograde in 2.5 weeks' time. Then Saturn will be going retrograde, and then the whole system, we're starting again. Later in the year, there'll be lots of planets retrograde, and we are heading into a pretty crazy time, as I'm sure I've mentioned before, around early mid-May. So by then, I think the whole world's going to be in a very different space. But don't pay too much attention to what's been going on in the last couple of months when there's been no retrogrades on. It's all been a kind of distraction, and it's all been a kind of superficial veneer of stuff that's yet to happen. So, especially with this full moon opposite Neptune, there's an element not so much of hype and spin, but of superimposition. It's almost like we've been watching the world through a Hollywood movie in the last couple of months. It's just about to change now, and the more we get into the first and second week of March, we're going to start seeing an element of reality coming back in a way that is going to give us something to bite on and something to work with. It's been a strange couple of months. Thank goodness we're getting back into retrograde times. At least we've got something to do with our lives again. All right, I'll get this across to you. Catch you later, world. Bye.